we will start with the third unit, metabolism. Whenever we think of metabolism, many pathways comes to your mind, like glycolysis, TCA cycle, ED pathway, HMP pathway, and electron transport chain. So many pathways. Generally, students study these pathways, but they fail to understand the connectivity between these pathways. So it is very important to understand the connectivity and the energy flow among these pathways. So this is what we are going to discuss today. You can take this particular session as an introductory session to all the metabolic pathways. Yes, why a cell has to do metabolism? Any microbial cell or any living cell has to do metabolism. So as to ensure that it gets enough energy and it also gets enough cellular constituents. I mean, it requires precursor molecules so as to build its cellular constituents. Because of these two reasons, in order to obtain energy and also in order to build up its own cellular constituents, any cell will do the metabolism. These are the two primary things. Now let us take or let us consider the heterotrophic organisms or chemoorganotrophic organisms. In case of heterotrophic organisms or chemoorganotrophic organisms, which we have already discussed under microbial nutrition types, these organisms, they generally require energy-rich organic compounds which are readily available in the environment. They procure their energy and also they procure the precursors required for building up their cells by utilizing energy-rich organic compounds which are found in the outer environment. So today I am going to discuss how these heterotrophic organisms or chemoorganotrophic organisms or sometimes you can also call chemolithotrophic organisms, how exactly are they going to use these compounds in order to procure their energy and cellular constituents. So energy-rich organic compounds has to undergo oxidation. In order to liberate energy and also in order to synthesize many precursor molecules required for building up of the cells. When they undergo oxidation, you can say oxidation is nothing but donating the electrons. So electrons has to be donated by the energy-rich organic compounds. When you say that these compounds are donating electrons, there should be someone to accept these electrons. Isn't it or not? There should be an electron acceptor when you have an electron donor. Here the energy-rich organic compounds will act as electron donors and they undergo oxidation, whereas you have certain electron donors down the lane. You have electron acceptors down the lane which accepts these electrons. These electrons will be accepted by electron acceptors. These electron acceptors can be oxygen or it can be nitrate, sulfate, or it can be any other organic compound which is already present in the cell. Okay, if the electron acceptor is the oxygen, then you call such respiration process as aerobic respiration. The ultimate electron acceptor, if it is the oxygen, then you call the respiration process as aerobic respiration. If the final electron acceptor is either nitrate or sulfate or carbon dioxide or any other such inorganic compound, you call such respiration process as anaerobic respiration. If at all any organic compound which is there within the cell, if that accepts the electron, then you call such pathway or such respiratory pathway as fermentation. Now I introduced three important terms to you. The first one is aerobic respiration. The second one is anaerobic respiration, and the third one is fermentative respiration or simply fermentation. Microorganisms will do the process of respiration by these three processes. I mean by any one of these three processes. Different microorganisms will opt to do their respiration process, where they obtain the energy required for their cellular metabolism or their cellular activities, and also they get the precursor molecules to build up their own cellular constituents. Yes. Now we shall focus about the aerobic respiration process in this particular session. Maybe in the next session we shall see about the anaerobic respiration process and also the fermentative respiration process. Coming to the aerobic respiration process, we generally start explaining the aerobic respiration or any other kind of respiration process starting with the glucose. This is because glucose is a very widely available organic molecule in the environment. And it is widely utilized by most of the microorganisms. So often we take glucose as an example or glucose as a starting compound in explaining all the metabolic pathways. Say for example, if not glucose, if the organism is taking up starch or it is utilizing starch as its food material, then it will cleave starch into glucose units and then the pathway will start. Say for example, if the organism is utilizing sucrose or if it is utilizing galactose or lactose, first the organism has to convert the source of its food or the nutrient molecule into glucose usually, and then the pathway will get started. So the glucose has to undergo oxidation. As I told you earlier, glucose is the electron donor here. It is the energy-rich organic compound. Energy-rich reduced organic compound is the glucose. Yes, so it has to undergo oxidation, means it has to donate the electrons, and this will constitute many metabolic steps. It requires many hundreds of metabolic reactions or chemical reactions that will undergo in a cell. The glucose generally undergoes, it gets cleaved into pyruvate. This is the, you can call it as the first stage in the degradation of the glucose or metabolism of the glucose. Glucose can become pyruvate, it can be converted into pyruvate via three pathways. Either it can be converted into pyruvate by EMP pathway or by HMP pathway or by the ED pathway. There are three routes by which the glucose can be converted into pyruvate. First route is it can follow the EMP pathway. The second route is it can follow HMP pathway. The third route is it can follow ED pathway. Generally, EMP pathway and HMP pathway can occur simultaneously in the cell, whereas ED pathway is an alternative pathway for EMP pathway. You should understand this clearly. EMP pathway and HMP pathway can occur simultaneously within the cell, whereas ED pathway is an alternative pathway for EMP pathway. Means whenever ED pathway is operating, EMP pathway will not operate. Whereas when EMP pathway is operating, HMP pathway can get operated simultaneously. So once the glucose gets converted into pyruvate by any of these three pathways, the pyruvate is then converted into acetyl-CoA, where the acetyl-CoA will now enter into a TCA cycle, tricarboxylic acid cycle, also known as citric acid cycle. From the citric acid cycle, what happens is when your glucose is undergoing many metabolic reactions, when it is passing through many metabolic reactions or chemical reactions, you must underline or you must look at the NADH production. NADH will be produced during all these pathways. So even in many steps of the TCA cycle, you can see the production of NADH and FADH at many steps in these pathways. So this NADH and FADH, they will move to the electron transport chain and they will donate the electrons to the electron transport chain. In the electron transport chain, you will have many carriers and the electrons will move through these carriers, and finally, as I told you, in case of aerobic respiration, the electrons will reach oxygen. The oxygen is the external molecule. You have to breathe in oxygen. Even the microorganisms have to take in oxygen in order to do the respiration. So oxygen is the external molecule which takes up the electrons during the electron transport chain or at the end of the electron transport chain, and oxygen is converted into water molecule. Since this oxygen is required for this whole process to occur, you call this kind of respiration as aerobic respiration, that is respiration which occurs in the presence of air because oxygen is required. So this electron transport chain is always coupled to oxidative phosphorylation, where the proton motive force that is generated will give you ATP, will synthesize, or the energy, the proton motive force will be utilized in the production of ATP.